Yee. Got it working again. Welcome back to God's Autobiography. My name is Stephen French, episode 19 of stories, my life stories, my life. One thing that I really like about this project is I can just kind of look around my room, look around my belongings, my life, my stuffs, and it's really easy to have a new story kind of pop in my head, like just to remember a new experience, or not, to remember an old experience. And I don't know, it's really fun to do. It's really fun to find ideas. It's really fun to make these for me. And today, trying to think of an idea, stumbled on this book. This is a book that means a lot to me from when I worked as a martial arts instructor, and it means a lot to me now as I'm kind of restudying my old material. But today's story is about the time, or I guess why I don't have my black belt in the system of Kempo Jiu-Jitsu, even though I trained hard for it and I was supposed to take the test. I was ready to take the test, and had I taken the test, I would have passed the test. But yes, this is just the student manual for United Studios Progressive Martial Arts, teaching Kaji Kempo or Kempo Jiu-Jitsu. Now, I was a senpai or junior instructor. I was the only one who wore, well, until Davey kind of got promoted, I was the only one who wore a red belt, which is fun, but it's just the junior instructor belt. But I was the only senpai who taught as if I was just a sensei. I ran my own classes. I would teach even some of the junior black belts. I would teach them the adult advanced classes as well. I just didn't really teach the adult black belts. I would spar with them, and I would teach them some of like the little katas and stuff that they needed to know, but not any of like the core material and how to be a better martial artist. But I was set to take my black belt test in I think in October of just a couple years ago. A couple years ago. I had made a pretty big mistake, though. I was again teaching all of the junior black belts and all the junior black belt nominees, and I had a booklet, like a workout booklet that we had given them, and we had discussed with them where they had to run a certain amount of miles a day. They had to they had to record some number of random acts of kindness. They had to write an essay. They had to recite the school creed. We had a lot of things, like mostly a workout log was the main part of this booklet, and the kids had to follow it. Now, I don't know why I made an assumption. It was a pretty bad assumption to make, but I assumed that this booklet was for the kids. I wasn't given something separate for the adults, so I just kind of assumed that the adults didn't have one. Really dumb assumption. I should have asked a question, but it just kind of didn't cross my mind. I was training my martial arts. I was biking to work. It was 6.5 miles each way. So I was training. I knew I was doing everything I needed in all of my studies, mental and physical, to be ready for this test. But I forgot about the appropriate or the proper criteria, requirements. So I think it was like a night or two before, it might have been the night before, Renchi calls me. He's like, hey, make sure you have your definitions and your essay done. I was like, what are you talking about? And I was going through the booklet, and those are things in it. Now, what didn't make sense to me is all the students that had taken this test, they had to turn all this information in a month before the test. And that had passed, so it was a month behind, and nothing had been mentioned. So I was pretty confused, and then I was like, fuck, all of this I had to do too, and it put me into a bit of panic. And I did the definitions and the essay portion, but I wasn't keeping a workout log, so I didn't have anything like that complete. And the next day, I went in quite a bit before the test, and I went up to my Renchi and Kiyoshi. I guess if you don't know these, hierarchies, this hierarchy, then there's senpai, junior instructor, sensei instructor. Renchi is the one who kind of runs the school. Kiyoshi is the founder of the school. At least that's how in Kaji Kempo the hierarchy is structured. So Kiyoshi was pretty much only in there for black belt testing. But Renchi and Kiyoshi were both there, and I asked if I could speak with them in the office. And I told them that because of my own fault, I have not done all this, which they already knew. But I asked them on the spot if I could be taken off the test. There was another test coming up in the following April, but I said I'm ready to take the test physically and mentally, but I did not complete one of the requirements, and I don't think I deserve special treatment, and I don't think I deserve to take this test without being 100% ready for it. And they really respected that. It was actually because of that that they offered that I can take the test. But a little bit of Renchi wanted me to actually not. One, for the same reasons that I felt like I shouldn't, but also because in April, a lot of the other instructors were going to be testing. It was going to be a much harder test in April than the one that I was about to take in October. So yeah, they accepted my decline from the test, and I felt pretty bad because one other student, he had to take the test alone because it was just going to be he and I training. Thinking back, I kind of regret this. I should have stayed. I should have not taken the test, but I should have okayed if they let me. I should have asked if I could stay and kind of do the physical part of the test to keep the other guy on his toes and give him a proper examination. But yeah, I didn't take it. And then about a month later, I ended up having what I mentioned in one of the previous videos, where I needed to move. I needed to find another job and not, I don't know, I guess discover more about me, what I'm still doing now, and kind of tumbled into. Yeah, just boring little story of why I am not a black belt. Maybe that can change next summer. I'm going to go back to Long Island. I'm going to be training this every day, get all of my material back. I still remember a lot of it, but I'm going to get all of my material back. And I'm going to approach Renchi at the beginning of the summer when I get back to Long Island. I'm going to ask for him to evaluate me as a student, not as a black belt test. And I'm going to ask if he will train me for fighting. So maybe I'll get into some of that next summer as well. But a lot of plans. God's Autobiography will end up including all of them. Thank you for sticking around to me in 20, 30 years when I watch this again, I guess. That's it. Peace.